Hey guys, so welcome to our first episode of Millennial Issues. So today our panelists are Andre Cooper,
Hey guys!
Kimberly Henry,
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Sheldon,
What's up?
and me, Sandry McVoy. We're missing Trina Gay today, but she'll be on the next episode. So today we're going to talk about mental issues. And so I'll be hosting, so I'll be asking a few questions. And it's going to be a fun, interactive session, so I hope you guys enjoy. Right? So the first question I want us to tackle is, what do we think mental issues, or what do we see as a mental issue? What would we use to describe mental issues or a mental issue?
Alright, so I think mental issue covers pretty much everything. Like some minute things that we don't think are mental issues turn out to be mental issues. I think something as little, or so to speak, as little as depression counts as a mental issue. Your anger does count as a mental issue. Depending on how drastic your anger is, it can be defined as a mental issue. So I think the term mental issue is very broad and it encapsulates a lot of things.
Alright, so we know as young people, as millennials, as we are, we face a lot of issues in school, right? There are lots of things that happen that people don't really think about, and a lot of experiences that we have that lead to us having these kind of issues, and a lot of people either water it down or them ignore it. And I guess we can go into an experience that I had. And I remember one night when we were doing our stories for journalism, right? I was doing TV stories. And for this particular course, for whatever reason, I kept having to do redos over and over and over again. So I found out one night that I had to do like 6 stories one night. And, that never have anything to do with the exam stories I had to do or the upcoming assignment. So at this point, I'm flustered. My laptop stopped working. I can't find the charger. Everything is just not going right that night. And for whatever it is, I just broke down in tears. No, I couldn't understand what was happening to me at that point because I've never been in that kind of space before, and I also didn't understand that school was taking such a big toll on me. And naturally, I'm expecting at this point my parents to come over and say, hey, what's wrong? What's going on? Whatever. But instead, I got hurling at me, ya idiot, ya go like you don't understand, ya bald fuck, ya fool. And I'm like, oh, have mercy. So of course this is making it worse, and I'm asthmatic, so I'm going to start hyperventilate at this point, and nobody not try. My sister started them to ignore me because I give people attitude. And in my head I'm saying, no one's trying to understand what's going on with me. No one's saying, Sandrine, just breathe, relax, what's wrong? And in the middle of me trying to explain, because my father is there asking me, what's wrong or whatever. And I'm trying to explain to him. But to him, it's coming off as, I need help, I'm going to ask somebody for help. But it wasn't that I needed help. It was just that it felt like everything was caving in. So it wasn't that I didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. It was just that every time I did it, and I thought I had it right, it just never did come across the way it needed to. You understand? And what did that lead to? That in some level leading up to depression, and I didn't even realize that I was suppressing the feelings of being overwhelmed, the feeling of not doing the best of my ability, moving from being the person who everyone seeks for help to the person who doesn't even know what she's doing. Mm-hmm. And that had like a dramatic impact on my state. So I don't know at this point what was going on. So I don't know if any of us have like any experiences like that we want to share, or anything similar to that we can use to relate to, like different experiences as to how depression comes across in the most, as people would say, medial form.
Yeah.
I do understand. Reading from American Mental Health America, they describe mental illness as a disease that causes mild to severe disturbances in thought and or behavior, resulting in an inability to cope with life's ordinary demands and routines. They say there are more than 200 classified forms of mental illness. Some like depression, as you, Sandrine, might have been facing during your assignments, bipolar disorder, dementia, schizophrenia, and anxiety disorder. I can testify to the whole anxiety disorder. Like, I have moments when I have my homeworks to do and all of that, and then I just freeze. I just can't do anything. Mm-hmm. I just don't know what to do, who to turn to, what to think. My entire mental space is disrupted. Mm-hmm. And I have moments when I'm just crying and I don't know what's wrong with me. Now, on days when I realize what's definitely wrong, I feel a fear to not talk about it. Mm-hmm. Because in our society, once you're facing a mental issue, people are going to say, yo, that girl is mad.
Yeah,
that boy, they're mad. So it leads me to say, no, the stigma that is attached to mental illness, mental ailments, all of that, is one that, in particular, it just pushes us in a space where we don't want to talk about it. And it's not the best. It's not the best, and we should try to, I think, stem the stigma as it relates to we feeling ill mentally.
Yeah.
I think we should come to a consensus that this is natural and that we're human beings and we're bombarded by life. And, life just happen. We need to talk about these things because I consider myself to be healthy. I mean, I eat well. I exercise when I can. If I feel the mood, I go to the doctor. I check up regular. But your physical health is good. But what about your mental space? I mean, if your head is not functioning the way it is supposed to be functioning, then are you really healthy? So yes, we face these same issues and we're bombarded days on top of days. Assignments, people, Andre can tell you, people just feel like university stress is okay.
Yeah, it's a breeze.
So
I think a part of it, though, it's persons having a structured concept of mental health. So it's, mental health are people who sit on the roadside and then mad. Or people eat out a garbage pan. Or, persons who went to experiences like, they did drugs and they never come back. Or, persons who had very traumatic experience like death, or you've seen death, or you get stuff like that. But I think as millennials, we've come to understand, because of our different experiences, particularly university and dealing with persons of different social classes, dealing with different personalities, dealing with lectures, dealing with courses, dealing with the system, which we can never get rid of. But I think as millennials, we've unveiled a different aspect of mental health, or different factors contributing to mental health that other persons aren't allowing themselves to see. And so the next question I want to ask is there enough being done? Andre, what do you think?
I believe there is enough. Well, I would not say enough, but things are being done, but people are not really aware. Well, students are not really aware of the various services that are being offered by the university. Because honestly, you have the counselor, you have various resources put in place by the health center, but people are not aware because they don't really put forward that kind of information to students, especially on the Guild page. You don't see any anything that's really geared towards mental health. There's no campaign, so it really you really ask yourself, what is the school doing enough in terms of projecting the information, or is that you have to independently go out and seek that information? Because if really and truly, if they were projecting that, people would have leaned towards, okay, this is something normal, nothing is wrong with this, because they're projecting this, so it's acceptable, and therefore you can go ahead and not, feel like a deviant, you feel out of place, you feel different. Because honestly, if I go to the health center now and I see one of my friends, me I jump and hide. Me I hide because me no want nobody see me over this, especially in the I would say the counseling department, because they're going to say, what? I mean, never know Andre mad.
Right.
Because they're going to actively assume you're crazy.
You're crazy.
Without understanding what I'm going through in
or
my
something
mind.
You must sick or
Yeah,
something. You
something
must
mad
go
in my
through
head. Yeah.
something.
I think one of the problems too with our university, yes, they do things because they provide the facilities there at the center for you to come and get the counseling. And from time to time, like one in a blue moon, you see a little thingy at my Irving or some sequel or
It's seldom.
But it is not promoted. And I think as students we have a problem. We see the only de-stressor as integration Thursdays. That's my problem.
Parties.
We see parties as our only escape at the University of the West Indies. And we should realize that when we go to these parties on Thursday or whenever it's on campus, we go back to a room
Exactly.
that is empty.
Because it's only for that
doesn't
particular
have-
moment.
Exactly.
It's just for that moment.
We don't need something that is for
Temporary.
this moment.
Just for the moment.
Just for the,
Need
we
something
need something
more.
that that we can
Sustainable.
relate to. We need some resources that we can go and read. As a matter of fact, I don't think sometimes we constantly need people to be there to tell us that, hey, guess what, you need to do this to come out of this shape. I just believe it's this one stigma that people attach to it. So you're even afraid to even go on Google and try to find ways, YouTube to find ways to, try and correct the issue that you're facing. So yes, they need to promote these things more. They need to have people coming in more to talk about mental issues so this can become a norm. Just like we talk about other things and other things becoming a norm, we should uphold and we should see this as a necessary mean to talk about, because I've been in school and I've sit down and I've watched people like going back and forth, and just by observing these people I see crazy on their face. Like, it's not even us where we come to school and look jolly and okay and we're performing and everybody thinks that we're okay, but behind closed doors we're okay. I literally see people on the students on the university campus and they're mad just by the actions. They are crazy and they need help, but where to go? Everybody's criticizing everybody.
I don't think much people are not aware that we have a health center. Honestly, people are here, they don't even collect their health cards. They don't know about various services. I have a friend, and it was recently he tried. He's been here for 3 years, and it was I think it was 2 weeks ago we tried to get his health card, and literally they did not know where they placed it, so they have to go literally make over one different card for him. I'm going to actively assume that the university threw it away. That must cheer through the people.
But then you consider that you have different year groups coming in each year applying for their health cards, and because remember they do it in the room across from the library. That's how they do the distribution.
Right.
And if you consider it, when they have so many over the past years and him now go for one each time, it's gonna be there. It's going to get lost among
At least you should have records. Place them in a box or something.
They're probably
Well, at least,
archived.
exactly. Put them somewhere where at least they know the student
One-
come back, because
one
you're
of the
paying your
problem-
miscellaneous. So you're entitled to that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
One of
But
the
then there's a
problems too,
responsibility on the person.
True.
The health center, you probably go there and guess what? You probably don't even have they probably don't have what you need. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been to the health center for things and I had to pay like additional money. What about those persons who don't have that additional
Right,
True.
if stuff with
fee?
the card don't cover.
And you cannot use the card outside of the university. I mean, if you go to the university hospital, it's just like $350 they can take from the card. So it's really not flexible.
That's why I have to congratulate what Christina wants to do, because what she's
Yeah.
working
Good.
towards is trying to
That's
make the
very
card more flexible in terms of you can use it outside of school. And that is something that is really good.
That's
I think I don't really understand. You're paying so much for miscellaneous and yet still they're asking for more money. That is something that needs to be
unfair.
renovated as well. So counselors are sitting on the executive. Please look into that as well, and also the administration.
Right. And if you're listening and you're not so counsel, but you know what counsel pass it on.
Outside, sorry, Sandri, outside of the university, doing things geared towards mental health, I believe our country isn't verse in this area. As in, we don't have a lot of even psychologists. So, for me to go to hospital or a health center outside of the university, it is going to take a lot, because I read a study and they're saying that age 14 to 22 face a lot of mental issues, but there's just not enough counselors, guidance counselors to even deal with it.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't say there's not enough, because every year the universities produce a plethora
But
of
think about
graduates.
how many of them stay, Andre. That's one.
That's true. Well, that's
How many
true.
of them stay? How many of them actually go into that field when they leave? Because the reality is, a lot of
Psychology is
us.
very hard to get
It is
into.
hard to get into. One, two. Think about a lot of us coming to school not knowing what we want to do. And we get the degree because we know we need a degree. It's easier to get a job with a degree, no matter what you are doing.
Yeah, as long as you have the degree.
And because that person with the degree can easily get into a position somewhere else with someone that does not, not in the same area. You understand me? Us as journalism students, we know this.
Exactly.
So somebody can come into
Or
a media
feel.
house and with a psychology degree, not ever practicing psychology, but they're a journalist. You understand?
Yeah.
Getting awards.
Yeah.
Groundbreaking stories.
over someone who actually
Over persons who, went to school.
and studied for that particular
so
area.
I understand the concern, and here's a question I want to throw to Sheldon. What do you think about, because I think one of the issues also is that we as the individual, it goes beyond just persons looking at us as, having mental issues or not being crazy or not being stable or being unstable and being crazy. We don't want to see ourselves that way either. And so it's the denial. So you get into this, something is wrong with me, because crazy moments of the day. I don't have any deaths in my family or anything, I don't have any missed parents, not necessarily going through neglection, but on any given hour, I just get up and cry.
Yeah.
You understand? And I'm not going to want to say to myself, I think there's something wrong with me. I don't want to face that kind of reality.
That's true.
So what do you think would be the best platforms, or what could you suggest would be the best platforms, and in what way could we create a safe haven for millennials who want to express? Because we have vlogs and we have all of that, but what do we think we can do to help the millennials, and what do you think the university can do in concept of a platform for us to air?
I think the best way to get rid of anything taboo is just to speak about it. I think talking helps so much, and which is why I'm happy to be a part of, this podcast, because talking about things, for example, us as millennials, we have experienced a lot of things.
Yeah.
And this is also a good avenue. And to anybody that's listening, it's okay to not be okay. Don't ever think that you have to be 100% okay at any given time.
Yeah.
And even when you don't feel okay, there are always friends you can speak to, and sometimes, not being around somebody 24/7 doesn't make them your friend. So when you are around certain persons, you can tell from the get-go who is actually in it for your best interest. And so I think talking about it, conferences and forums, yes, you might think those are elitist things that bright people go to, but I think if we take the time and we go to these forums and we listen, because there are psychologists out there who are willing to help.
Yeah.
My only drawback with the feelings of psychology is to become a psychologist is so difficult. Like, before you can practice, you need your master's or you need a PhD. So it does take some time to actually...
I did not know
Yeah,
that.
so it does take some time for them, and which is why a lot of our psychologists, after they get their degree, they go find something else to do.
Yeah, because no one has the money.
Yeah.
No one has the means, and
To
I'm
go back to
hearing
a master's.
I'm hearing the graduate students complain about that there's not enough bursaries and grants enough out there to assist them. So I completely understand that.
So that is something the university needs to look into as well.
Yeah.
So counselors listening, or whoever's listening, please pass on the message.
Yeah.
Let us tackle now what we think are some of the... we've started the discussion that way, But I want us to look into what are the factors, like the unconventional things that we think contribute to mental health, or us being unstable sometimes, us being, just out of it completely and not realizing, or things other people do to contribute to that kind of space of mind, or, state of mind that they won't understand, but the individual is experiencing. Andre?
As you said earlier, it's a really broad area. So I think you have to contemplate the various reasons, like financial wise, peer pressure, because that's one of the major. That's for me one of the major. Because honestly, if I see Kim projecting herself a particular way, then I'm going to want to project myself like that, because that garners a specific audience. You're going to want to see yourself in that position. If you're not able to, you're going to, when you're in your own space, you're going to become so depressed. Because honestly, that has reached me multiple times. I try to replicate others, like my icons, like Miss Kitty, those people, and I realize I cannot reach that level of popularity. I feel so mentally clustered, honestly.
And then people think that in university we don't have those issues, right? Because university you don't care, no one cares. It's such a big space. Nobody don't care if you want to wear the same shoes for the week. That's a lie, people. That is a lie. Trust me. It should be that way because it's such a big space. So it really should have been, I don't care what you want to do kind of thing. You're letting me mine. But this is a place where everyone sees you.
Exactly.
Even the people you not see.
I would like to eradicate that notion. It does not exist. So please, guys, stop
telling people
Stop telling people that it's
university is different.
Exactly. Stop.
Yeah,
I think you've
the stress. All right. So we need to stop. Stress is a part of university.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, the workload is heavy.
Just take off my shirt, right? Because you drip me up.
The workload is heavy.
Exactly.
Yes. But we need to stop telling people that stress is normal, because when they're going through that stress because they think it's normal, they'll never ever seek help for it. And so every time something stressful comes on, they'll sit there. Oh, as Kimberly told me, this is just part of university, and they go through and they might make it to the end of the 3 years and have their degree, and then they're so stressed afterwards, and that's when everything hits. And sometimes it's those little things that add up. Missing your bus this morning. Sometimes those are little things, because, we might have a rough week, and then missing your bus just might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. And so it's the little things that we need to pay attention to. And like I always say, just speak about it. Your group of friends. Talking about it is one of the best ways to get rid of anything.
Yeah, and if you don't know your group of friends, because that's a reality.
Yeah,
there are so many persons I know
fake friends
coming up from high school, right? Because I know we're at university, but a high schooler might be listening. And when you think about coming from high school and the peer pressure, I don't want to say it's different, but the ways in which it impacts you may be different, in the sense where in high school, you have like a smaller box to deal with, in a sense. There are little to so much things that you want to get done in high school. Your main focus is CSEC, Cape, if you're going to Cape. You understand? You just want to get out, do the best, make an impact if you want. Some people don't care about impact. You have persons who go to high school and never be patriotic all their lives. But what I'm getting at is, I see persons come out of high school, 7 years, they go to sixth form, and they come to university, and the friends they thought they had coming up, it's when they get here, they realize they were never their friends to begin with. These are the persons we know all of them life, know all of them business, every crook and every cranny. About them, somebody know about it. You understand?
Yeah.
And so when they come here in this big pool, they realize the things they held on to then is either they don't matter here or they do matter. So it's a two-sided kind of thing. So either it didn't matter before and it matters now, or it mattered then and it doesn't matter now. And that creates room for you to now stop and be like, you know, what have I been doing all my life? And so, say you take somebody who is very intelligent, book smart, when it come on to them books, them get them grades packed every single time. It don't matter what kind of pressure, the work thing, it cool. But their social life is messy.
Yes.
Because they can't ever find the right friend. Them can't ever find the right man. They can't find the right girl. You understand what I say? And they try to put themselves in, as Kim say, we think, most of us sometimes at university think that the partying is our de-stressor.
Yeah.
But we don't realize that if we're going through stuff and we put ourselves in a space around people, we not talk to nobody. It's just we, the music, everybody around us. Right? And there's alcohol, there's whatever else there is. All we are doing is suppressing. So we just compress the emotions. They're like, okay, I'll be fine if I drink another cup. I'll be fine if I listen to this song. If I go dance to the boy, then I go, alright.
For the moment.
But the question is, how long will that feeling last?
That's the problem. You know, that's the problem.
For a few hours, they might be inebriated. But when that feeling vanishes, what are you going to do next?
What are you going to do? And then we look at persons who, we see them have this party life, they get good grades too. You know, we say, but I don't party. And me, I get good grades. But I say she a party. I say she done a party. She done go party every night. And she done
That's
still
a lie, by the way, guys. That's a lie.
and she done still a class. The 90s them in a class. So, I'm already bright. So, why me can go party too? And then we don't realize that the very same thing we've been avoiding in high school is the person we've become. And it gets worse. And I'm not bashing anybody on campus. It gets worse when you're here.
Yeah.
Because it is embedded here. Like it is a part. Like you find it difficult.
You can't escape it.
You find it difficult to escape it. Say, in your room now and say, oh, me's a girl when I got a party. Whatever, you hear the song over there, so, and you say, but now you lock your door, you know? And you say, yeah, you hear the noise, you put a sheet over the stomach, you know, and hear the sound.
Two toes are you that run go fling on the ear and face.
I'm telling you.
2 toes are you that the parring brother.
Right?
Fling it up with your family.
And don't get us wrong, guys. We're not saying anything is ever wrong with partying,
if that's your
enjoying
thing,
yourself.
that's your thing.
But we're saying don't allow it to be your go-to when you're not feeling okay, because it might not be the best thing for you. And before Kim comes on, I just want to say, in addition to talking, and that's nothing, we can't stress it more, talk.
Yeah.
But for those persons who aren't vocal, for those persons who can't find words, right?
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm vocal, but I'm also a writer. I find my best, like, when I put words to paper, people might think it makes sense in my own mouth. When I put words to paper, it make a whole lot more sense. If you think when it could now, let's catch me right.
And even to add to that, you can also read other people's experience.
Oh my gosh.
When you read, you feel so emboldened, empowered. So that's also another strategy.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends
that you can utilize.
I have a lot of friends who are bloggers now, you know, bloggers, and when I read their content, sometimes I feel like, girl, you hit me right.
It empowers you.
You make me think about things differently. You understand, like learning. And as Sheldon said, go to different forums, go to different stuff. Like, don't bother feel like it all and all people got them thing there.
And don't feel like you're the only one going through these problems. I mean,
and be okay to do it by yourself, guys. I know sometimes you want company, but sometimes you have to just pick up yourself and say, I'm going to this, like I have a friend, I'm not going to call her name, so I'm not going to call her name, but you know who you are, and you make me feel so empowered sometimes. I'm she get up and say, Sandrine, you know, I'm going to go to this forum today, or I want to go to this today. She keeps putting herself out there, and majority of the time, her friend's not always available, I'm not always available. But to do it on her own, not because she want to make it look like she had the most in or she don't need friends, But because she knows that there's something she wants to build inside her, that she wants to come out, and the only way to do that is you have to be your own
You have to
motivation.
build that mental space where you're able to do things independently.
Kim, I hope
So I
you
want to
forget what you
implore
wanted to
young
say.
people to build that mental space where you're able to do this and anything, as a matter of fact, on your own without relying on anyone. Honestly, you need to develop that.
When it comes to university, you have to know how to do things on your own.
Yeah.
Because your lecturers won't run behind you. Chances are you won't have 15 friends like you did in high school. You probably have one or two who probably do different courses and busy at different
You're not
times.
gonna ever see them sometimes.
Yeah, it's that too. So you have to learn to do things on your own. Too,
Kim?
guys.
Well, Sheldon, Trina, not Trina, Trina, we miss you.
Right?
Well, Sheldon and Sandrine and Andre just said you have to find a little safe haven for yourself. For the persons who are at university, what you need is self-actualization.
Yeah.
I mean, know who you are and stand firm in your beliefs and your moral, because this is the place that you come to learn to shape where you're going, but you have to have some kind of foundation. You can't let everybody sway you and you be all over the place. You need to know you. I think one of the problems that we as millennials face as it regards to mental issue is that we're in a society where once you reach 18, you're adults.
Big
Yeah.
man.
Brother, you're
Trust
responsible for yourself.
Man, and stop her, man.
And let me tell you, parents, I'm speaking to parents now.
Yeah.
All right.
The system, this Babylon system say, yeah, we're adults, but really and truly we can't do it on our own. And you
Still
find
look
a lot
picnic.
of students at the University of the West Indies, we come here to further ourselves, to get tertiary education, and we need the support same way.
We feel that we get low.
So now,
We feel that
yes,
we
we
get
are
low.
left alone. Most of the times, we're left alone. Parents not really giving you that strong financial support anymore. And this is the time when we need money. Sorry, but millennials need money. And when you're going to send us off to university and we're not getting that amount of cash we used to get in high school, it can really have a mental impact. Like it messes up. It messes with our mental space so much, because you come to the university and yes, tuition is paid, but you have to remember the kind of child that you had or children you had before you were giving them this. So now is the time where you give them more attention. You preps them up a look 1 and 2 times with a little extra cash. And I see where it happens. People come to the university and parents kind of neglect them to a certain extent because they feel like we're grown, we're adults. We're never adults. Like we're always your baby, guys. Like we need check up, and sometimes strong people like me, some people always just feel like say for some reason I'm good, because yes, I portray that I'm good, but what about the persons who are close to you to even see that you're not good? Sometimes we need to be selfless, step back, check up on our loved one. I feel our society is moving to where people just genuinely don't care.
Yeah, people don't care
People
anymore.
don't care anymore, and I think it's just breaking the entire society. Because if your mother probably just thinks you're good, just thinks you're good, just thinks you're
goes
good.
a long way, you know. Yep. If your mother just message you after just the end of the day, just say, how was school? You know how you feel about that?
Allow me to vent. We just need to rant sometimes.
My aunt check up on me literally every week, and I feel so empowered.
That's great.
And it really fuels my continuation. You know, I have a purpose. It makes you feel as if you have a purpose.
Sometimes I believe that's where the problem lies. We really and truly just need the kind of support we were getting from a baby stage. Because now you're thinking, boy, some of us even take student, me go pay back student loan. Me go can send my mother a local stipend. Me go can start buy my things them for, become what I want, because me go pay my rent, my mortgage. You're thinking about so much
many things.
things. You just need somebody to say, listen, it's okay. We love you, this, that. Simple things.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's not even the material things that we need as millennials. We just need a simple reminder that we're good enough, and that's it.
Yeah. As Kim rightly said, it goes beyond. I mean, we know, as we said, parents, the financial is important.
Amen.
But the reality is, some of us, we know what our parents had to go through. You know, we know the situation. So we don't even have to talk about it. But the reality is we know sometimes that we need the financial, but sometimes the emotional support is so much greater, has so much greater impact on us, some we wouldn't even realize. And it is not even just for persons who are on campus, it's worse for them, because them already away from you, you know, and feeling like them not have the same kind of support. They might even have a roommate where they might even talk to. They might not even have a roommate. They might do it by themselves, you know. And so I have friends who I know they've gone through stuff like this, but take it from me, persons who are home too will have the same issues. Because when I go out in the mornings, when I leave the home at 5 o'clock and I come back in after 10, sometimes nobody not say, how was school today? Somebody not say, what are you doing? And I know sometimes it stems from the fact that some of our parents think that they'll never understand, or I can't understand what you do at school anyway. So that makes sense. I ask. You ask me, I'm not going to understand. Nobody explain. That's the way I do.
Legit,
you understand?
my mother.
I'm sure my parents don't know the courses that I do at school. They don't know the kind of content I have to do. Sometimes if I don't go out of my way to share it with them, or if I feel like I had an achievement today, you know, stuff like that, they don't know about it. And sometimes I say, like, I try to explain, and she be like, Sanji, I can't buy that, I'm not going to get it.
Well, that's
you understand?
honestly...
I would get it, you know, but sometimes it's the effort.
Yeah, the effort
so even if you not understand, sit down and listen to me.
Like
Because it's different, you know, when we there so I talk about it to each other. Like, what are we going to to each other? You can't really help me because you have stress too. You understand? You go through it too. So me and you are talk about it at the same thing me I hear. And sometimes, and I think this is sometimes mainly for females, and I've seen posts everywhere. Females don't always want solutions to their problems. Trust me, we don't. That's not what we always want. Chances are, if there are solutions, we can find them on our own most times. What we want. And I'm sure it can go for males too. Sheldon, Andre, you can tell me if I'm wrong. But I know it's mainly females who have this kind of issue. We just want to be heard. Millennials just want to be heard.
Yeah,
we want somebody to pretend. Even if you have to pretend to understand, just for me to get it off of my chest.
Let us rant. Let us
me
vent.
talk about it. Nobody give me issues, but Sanji, you know you shouldn't have. Don't tell me that. Because it's not you there here with it. You understand? Chances are, and sometimes me I tell you, me I cuss about a lecturer. Most time I'm not there at school I cuss a lecturer, you know. But you have to get it. Somebody tell me, Sanji, you can't think like that. No, I'm not think like that. Let me talk about it because I'm gonna go crazy. Because I can't talk about it, me and go school go tell the lecturer bad word one day. Because
guys, she's not going to do that.
No, never. No. I might be lippy.
Not Sanji.
But I'm not gonna be like
None of us would
disrespectful.
do that.
You know.
Yeah.
But the reality is because we now get a channel to talk about it without, I don't know, you guys watch My Wife and Kids?
Yeah.
And there's this aspect of their family where they sit and have
like a family
they sit
meeting.
and have like a family meeting, and the rule is no repercussions. Like at this point you have to tell the truth and nobody can get angry. Nothing happens. It's just you hear it out, we talk about it,
and that's it.
you could have killed a man. It ends there. Sometimes as millennials, that's what we need. We can't always get it from our friends, and sometimes we want it from our family. As much as we seem tough.
And sometimes, let me tell you what to do. Just sit down and bawl.
Yeah, that's the reality. Sometimes
Men, hold on. The university have a talk. Man's them. Wanna sit down and bawl.
And when I say coffee say in our song?
Come on,
but trust me,
It's okay to cry.
It's okay. And as Sheldon keeps, it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
Guys, I think what I want to end with is, Andre, what do you think the government, let's move past you. Let's move past just us. I mean, because we need to make a change and we're trying. This is us trying, guys. But what do you think the government can do? I mean, we've, set out as the forums and whatever, but what do you think they can actively do? Or things they can probably suggest? Maybe we can write a letter after this to somebody there to say, this is what we want to
We can
do.
probably write a letter to Christopher Tufton.
There you go. Yeah.
Yes, because he's there
Minister of
moving
Health.
Jamaica.
Yeah,
Jamaica
yeah.
moves.
Jamaica moves.
Yeah.
Running up that piece of hill in Portmore there. We brain need to run up something because it's mentally
But as it
disturbing.
relates to the question, I believe what the government can do on their part is to call for external expertise.
Yes.
Call persons that are within the medical field, psychologists, doctors, and have them come in and share their knowledge. Even to have like sensitization seminars and teach our psychologists. I believe that would be good, and especially to come into schools, not just universities, but schools across Jamaica, and share that information. I believe that would be good.
You know what I'm wondering? Because I'm wondering if they go to like homes. Like, do we have these type of people going into homes? Because you know, after 18, you release these people who have been in confinement, and oh my, this is like a next. I don't want to even go into details until I have proof that this is a step that is taken. Because some of these persons, sorry Sanjay, some of these persons coming out of the homes now, they're mentally disturbed and
it's like you lock away.
Yeah.
Like, listen,
I have
from
first-hand experience. I remember last year, because I'm a part of this volunteer group, we're called Friends United Network. And we mostly do our projects within the area of St. Catherine, because most of us are from St. Diego. The founder is a St. Diego, past deputy head girl, so that's how the group was founded. We have persons outside, and each year we have a Christmas treat for children. And I remember last year I was in charge of transportation, so I was in charge of going with the bus to the homes, picking them up, taking them back, ensuring that everybody was fine. And we went to this boy's home in somewhere in off Oliver Road. I don't remember what the name now. Sunbeam. Is Sunbeam? No, it's not that. Whatever. I can't remember. And so we went there, and the boys, it was an all boys home. And I remember I was speaking to one of the guys there, and I was seeing how they're interacting with the boys. Weren't so bad. Some of them, they can tell that the boys are troublesome, meaning them be troublesome. Yeah. Some of them you have to rough up. Just like when your mother that rough you up at home. Some of them need the... One can stop working no sense. But I saw where the boys needed some mentorship, some guidance in an emotional way that they did not have. And when I looked at the ratio of men to women that were there, I think I saw 2 women. That's not enough. And I understand the possible, issues with having females into all boys home, but they need that kind of motherly, you understand? And I was speaking to him, and I said to him, do you guys have persons coming in to talk to the boys about certain stuff? Like, just sit down and talk to them. What's going on? Reason with them, what are you going through? How are you feeling about this? Even have it outside or with the people there that take care of them, so that they're in an environment where them can freely talk about how them feel. You understand? And they're not necessarily. And I said, can we work together to do a collaboration? And I want to see if I can get my group, the Friends United Network, so if we can each adopt, one of the boys and be a mentor.
Yeah, right.
And he's saying that's going to take a lot, because I'm sure we have the means to do that. We have enough people volunteering in the group to say each of us take a boy and work on him. Because, as me say, them need the emotional support, guys. Emotional support will help you through depression. And I'm not trying to push any religious aspects on anybody, but I'm a Christian, and I remember we had this thing at church one time, and they were telling us that getting to the final stage of depression, I think there are about 5 different steps before you get to depression. And if we are alert enough, then we can stop ourselves before we get to that final stage. You understand? So let us try. And this medium has just reminded me that I need to call him, and I have not. And that's because, school is start back on. Because this was just December gone, so it wasn't a very long time. But it's no excuse to
we
not
can
have
be
called
sending
him.
out
You understand?
toxic people in society and hoping it's going to get better.
The thing is seeing the avenue for change. So I don't know if anyone else wants to end on a note.
going with what Andre said about the government, I think, Jamaica Moves is such a beautiful initiative.
I love it.
I
Thanks,
think,
Dr. Tufton.
yeah, I think we can get a Jamaica Thinks. That may be my thing for it. But if you want to, if the name, you just have to come to me first.
Right.
So I think you can get something like Jamaica Thinks or something like that to tackle mental health. Because, Jamaica Moves has a thing called Move It Mondays on here at UE on some Mondays. So, we could have Think It Mondays or Think It Thursdays, if you're going with the 2 T's. And we can, have things like that where we can address specifically mental health. But my last thing to you guys is it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
This sounds like a policy brief that we can actually draft.
I'm telling you.
So we will definitely work towards that.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed our first episode ever by Millennial Issues. And this was, our first on mental health. So this was Millennial Issues by Millennials for Millennials. Love you guys.
So bye guys. Do
you
join
next
us
time.
next week.